Hey everyone, and welcome back to Monday with Mallory. I am here this week with Demarcus Holland. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me.
I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Well, you definitely have had a crazy journey. You've started playing at the University of Texas in Austin and went from states across to countries across to playing in Germany. Can you kind of tell me your story about your journey in your career?
Well, I mean, like you said, I started off University of Texas, graduated. Then I actually tried out for the South Bay Lakers. I got that job, made it through training camp, ended up starting there. Um, then after that, we went to the playoffs, finished top four teams. After that year, I ended up coming back, and then I got traded to the Agua Caliente Clippers, which I finished the season there. Then after that, I left and went to play in Finland and Northern Europe. And then mid-season, I went to play in Germany, linked back up with my old teammate, Prince eBay there. Then COVID happened, and now I'm kind of training for my next gig.
Yeah, COVID kind of didn't really help out anyone this season in any league that you're playing in. And you talked about, trying out for South Bay and then going and playing with Agua Caliente, both in California. So not a hard transition for you there at all. But what do
Yeah.
you think prepared you the most playing in the G League to be able to prepare you to play professionally overseas?
I think more of just being able to adapt on the fly. I think that's very important, especially going to play internationally. Being in the G League, you got guys getting called up. You have two-way players. You have, games. You may have a back-to-back schedule. You may have to play 3 games in 5 days. So I think just that overall grind of the G League just prepared me for anything because you never know what you're going to get when you go overseas.
Right. And I love that you're so passionate and driven to work as hard as you can to get to the point where you want to be. And hard work and passion definitely go hand in hand. And I loved your video. I did a lot of research before the interview, and I watched the video from you at the University of Texas. And you talked a lot about academics and being focused and driven, and how your mom stayed on you to make sure that you got that degree. So do you kind of give any of that success to your mom making you work so hard academically?
Oh, for sure. I mean, she always, like my family, most of my family, they love that I play basketball. But more than anything, they want me to be prepared for life after basketball. So I'm very grateful that I have family members like that who put more emphasis on career and things that will carry me on after I'm done. Or you never know, you could have an injury,
Exactly.
whatever. So I'm very grateful for that type of support.
And speaking of being prepared, you told me that you were working on an online basketball educational course. I love that. I love that you're taking your skills in basketball to help with younger generations. So what planted that seed?
Really just a lot of things that I wish that I knew before going into my professional career. I kind of want to give players a head start on the mental side of the basketball game. Kind of the course that I'm working on now will be focused on like just the confidence, um, just preparing for games and having clarity going into games and after games. Kind of like not being down on yourself and just like little small things that I learned along my journey that if I would have had at a much younger age, I feel like it would have helped me be at a further place than I am today.
I love that. I think that your dedication to that is going to help so many young athletes in their future. And the way we play the game is it's changing and evolving, especially in today's society. And I mean, keeping the momentum going is definitely the key thing to do right now. And the G League has implemented a select team to play. And what are your thoughts on that process of a select team of professional players, the best of the best, just doing what they love?
I mean, I'm not really brushed up on exactly what the select teams will like. I don't know the details of how they're going to go about that, but I do know they're allowing high school kids to skip the process of going to college.
Mhm.
And I think that's a great opportunity for those kids because they think they're ready. I think they definitely should go to the G League. It's a great place to develop. It's a great place to really start to understand the professional game instead of jumping straight to the NBA. Maybe they're not ready for that level yet, but the G League is as close as you can get.
G League provides such a great opportunity for athletes. I know I'm a big fan working in and around with the Texas Legends, and being able to see guys build and hone their craft is definitely going to just elevate them to play in the NBA. And there's so many guys who are in the NBA now who have played in the G League and loved every minute of it. And now they're, being the best that they can be and jumping into the NBA. Draymond Green he's an analyst on TNT, and he made a statement about Devin Booker and how he should leave and go somewhere where he can be, the best. So,
Yeah.
what do you think about him being fined $50,000 for tampering?
I think he knew that there would be consequences to saying the things that he said.
Does he ever
Uh,
really care? I mean, in all honesty.
yeah, no, I don't think he ever cared. I think he kind of knew the fine was coming, but I think everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and I just think that's that.
All right, well, being entitled to your own opinion, do you think Devin Booker should leave?
I think Devin Booker should follow his heart.
I love it. It's a solid answer. I love to see the guys and see what they can do. And this season is definitely different. It went from a marathon normally to a sprint to the finish line this year. And in the bubble, there have been a lot of injuries, and a lot of teams are kind of not really knowing what to do. A lot of these guys are out for the season. Out of 5 of the 7, they're not coming back. Do you think that that is from the short time to get ready to be prepared to get in the bubble?
Um, I wouldn't say that it's because of the short time to get ready because there was a lot of downtime with the uncertainty with COVID. So I think it's us as professionals, I think it's our responsibility to stay ready at all times. I
Right.
think it's just a fortunate thing that, people get injured all the time and there's no rhyme or reason. It's just kind of a part of what we do.
Right. And it's just, you see so many guys. I mean, Jonathan Isaac, after his statement on the court of deciding to stand for what he believes in, and everyone respected him. And then he tore his ACL, and it just breaks my heart to see these guys who basketball was taken away from them for over 20 weeks, and then they come back in and they're hurt just like that. Ben Simmons and then Joel Embiid went down last night. I hope the best for him, and this definitely is going to be a interesting wrap of this season. I mean, we're getting ready to go into postseason, and we already know that the Bucks and the Lakers are leading the NBA, both the number 1 seed. Do you think it's going to be those 2 teams? I mean, the last 2 standing right there together.
I mean, honestly, my opinion is I think that either the Mavs or the Bucks will win the championship.
Really?
That's that's my personal opinion.
I'm not mad at that. I mean, obviously, Mavs, Dirk. Why do you have the Mavs picked?
I think they're playing really well together right now, and I think they are capable of beating anybody in a 7-game series. And I think nobody's expected to be contenders for a championship. So being an underdog and with the talent that they have, I think they can overachieve.
I think the Mavs, what they're going to have to work on to get to that point is definitely wrapping up games. They start out really
Yeah.
strong, and having Luka and KP, it's an unstoppable duo right there. But they always seem to kind of fall apart at the end. So maybe wrapping it up will get them to that point. So that's an interesting take. I mean, Mavs fan, but I don't know. I like that. Good.
We'll, we'll see.
We'll see. Exactly. I mean, having all of these guys together, what have you noticed through the bubble that's kind of, or I say I would notice a lot of the guys have come together as friends, different teams. There's a lot of opportunities to have fun, get to know each other a little bit more while they're playing the game. What do you think, or what have you noticed in the bubble that will definitely help with the seasons to come?
I mean, I noticed just with the fans not being there, I think a lot of teams are a lot closer, and I think leadership plays a larger role than it does whether you're a starter or you're on the bench, on the coaching staff. I think just that chemistry, the team chemistry, even for the players who are not on the floor, seems like everybody's bonding a little closer. And I think honestly, the teams that bond the most will be the ones who you see the most success from in the bubble for sure.
I agree with that. And you talked about the fans, and there's no fans there. Do you think that also has a negative factor in gameplay? Because it's it's an interesting way to watch a game. It definitely looks like a pickup game that's 10 times more exciting. But do you think not having fans there is maybe taking a toll also?
I think that for sure. I mean, I think I saw a statement from LeBron saying something along those lines. Like the fans definitely, them not having fans definitely impact a lot of players.
Right.
And I agree with that because I think the game is built on energy and momentum. And I
Exactly.
think fans have a lot to do with that. So it's unfortunate, but at least we all get to watch basketball and they get to play basketball right now. So
Exactly. And you don't realize what the atmosphere can really do until it's taken away from you. So hopefully, fingers crossed, next season we'll be up and running back to normal. But thank you so much for joining me and talking all things basketball. I really enjoyed our conversation today.
no problem. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And good luck with all your endeavors, obviously, in your career too.
Thank you.
Of course.